For some people, fishing is a favorite hobby, while for others, it's a job. In both cases, sometimes it happens that people not only catch fish, but also make real discoveries. In this video, I invite you to get acquainted with the most curious and amazing finds made by fishermen. Enjoy watching. Recently, animals have increasingly been subjected to various mutations. A striking example of this is a two-headed catfish. The unusual fish was caught in Southeast Asia. The fisherman was stunned when he saw that this catfish had two heads. One of the heads was in the usual position, while the other was where fish usually have tails. The fisherman decided to capture his unusual catch on video and then posted the footage online. Users were shocked by what they saw. Some of them didn't even believe that a catfish could have a second head instead of a tail. However, in the footage, it is clearly visible that the fish is moving and is indeed alive. Scientists believe that the fisherman most likely managed to catch Siamese twin catfish, as the second head was fully formed and not inferior in size to the main head. Interestingly, Siamese twins, although rare, do occur among fish. For example, in 2011, another two-headed catfish was caught, but in that case, the second head was located above the main one. So far, scientists cannot answer the question of why such mutations occur in fish. This unusual fish that you see on your screen is actually a shark, known as the goblin shark or elfin shark. This predator got its name due to its eerie appearance, which is a result of the great depths where it lives. Goblin sharks really do look like they are not ordinary fish, but true sea monsters. These predators have a beak-like snout and protruding jaws. Their bodies are equally creepy. Translucent skin with visible blood vessels gives the fish an unusual pink coloration. Goblin sharks are large predators. Their bodies can reach up to 3.5 meters in length and weigh up to 210 kilograms. These sharks are known for their unusual hunting method. When approaching prey, their jaws suddenly shoot forward, sucking the victim in along with the surrounding water. This spectacle looks like a scene from a horror movie, but how do sharks manage to find their prey at depths of over 1,000 meters, where complete darkness reigns? It turns out they are helped by a special growth on their snout. Inside it are electrosensitive cells that aid the predator in hunting. Goblin sharks live in almost all the world's oceans. Their population is fairly large, but because they live in such deep waters, people rarely encounter them. The exception is fishermen, in whose nets they sometimes get caught. In captivity, goblin sharks almost never survive. The only captured specimen lived for just 1 week in a Tokyo University laboratory. That's why this species of predatory fish remains little studied. Lobsters belong to the family of marine decapod crustaceans. Among people, these arthropods are considered a delicacy, as their meat is not only incredibly tender, but also contains many useful vitamins and minerals. We are all used to lobsters having a dark blue or dark green color in life, but it turns out that among these animals, there are individuals with unique coloring. In 2023, during one of the fishing trips in the American state of Maine, a fisherman named Jeff Edwards caught an unusual lobster, which you can see on your screens. This specimen had a dual color. One side of the lobster was red and the other black. At the same time, the boundary between the colors ran exactly down the middle of the crustacean's body. This lobster could have been unique, but in the same year, also in the state of Maine, another fisherman named Jacob Knowles also caught a two-colored lobster. Its body was colored in blue and green. In addition, this specimen was a hermaphrodite. It had both male and female organs. The unusual lobsters were transferred to a research institute, where specialists explain that such two-tone colorations are caused by a genetic anomaly similar to chimerism. In 2018, renowned fisherman and explorer Jeremy Wade went on a journey to the North Atlantic. According to him, he had long wanted to fish under conditions of extremely low temperatures and strong winds. He finally fulfilled his dream and at the same time made a sensational discovery. Wade hoped to catch large predatory fish, particularly a shark. For this reason, during fishing, he used special bait and ultra-strong tackle, capable of withstanding enormous resistance. After several hours of waiting, the float suddenly went underwater. This meant a predator had taken the bait. Now Wade needed to pull the large fish out of the water. It took more than an hour. Just imagine the surprise of the fisherman and his team when they discovered that the caught predator was a Greenland shark. This specimen was of impressive size. Its body length was about 4 meters and its weight was approximately 400 kilograms. Greenland sharks are considered one of the longest living vertebrates on Earth. The age of the caught specimen could have reached 100–150 years. Wade noticed serious injuries on the shark's body, likely sustained during a collision with thick ice. The fisherman wanted to help the predatory fish and take it to a lab for treatment, but due to the shark's large size, this was not possible. Therefore, after measuring, photographing, and taking biological samples, the shark was released back into the ocean. I think many of you are used to goldfish being small aquarium dwellers, but Andy Hackett's catch might make you change your opinion about their species. Andy Hackett has been professionally fishing for a long time. His list of unusual catches includes a huge number of rare fish, but he is most proud of having caught one of the largest goldfish in the world. Andy caught his most prized fish at one of the fishing estates in Champagne, France. This goldfish weighed more than 39 kilograms. And that's a real record since the average weight of this collective species of carp is about 500 grams. When Andy caught the giant fish, he immediately noticed its bright orange color. That's why the fisherman named it Carrot. Upon detailed examination of the unusual specimen, it turned out to be a hybrid of a leather carp and a koi carp. According to experts' assessment, it is about 20 years old. Most likely, it is one of the fry that were released into this lake in the late 90s. Later in interviews, Andy admitted that he had always dreamed of an unusual catch, so he was prepared for any difficulties during fishing. It is worth noting that it took more than 20 minutes to catch such a large carp with a fishing rod. If you've been worrying all this time about Carrot's fate, you should definitely know that after being caught and studied, the fish was released back into the lake, and its health is not in danger. In February 2007, in the Ross Sea in Antarctica, fishermen made a sensational discovery. They managed to catch a specimen of a colossal squid, also known as the Antarctic giant squid. This species was first discovered in 1925 in the stomach of a captured sperm whale. Since then, scientists had not managed to catch a live specimen of the colossal squid until this moment. The rare squid caught by the fishermen turned out to be a juvenile. However, it already had fantastic dimensions. The body length of this juvenile, including its tentacles, was 6 meters. It is worth noting that adult individuals of this species reach over 13 meters in length. The colossal squid is endemic to Antarctica. This species is known as a dangerous predator that often attacks even whales. Its main weapon is its gigantic tentacles. On each tentacle are 2 rows of suction cups on club-like ends and 2 longitudinal rows of well-developed hooks. The hunting of colossal squids occurs as follows. The predator hovers in the water in a motionless state, helped by the presence of ammonium chloride in its body, which gives it neutral buoyancy. When the squid notices its prey, it attacks it with its tentacles lined with sharp hooks and powerful suction cups. Then, its strong beak joins the process, easily breaking through the chitin shells of large crustaceans. The main prey of the colossal squid includes sperm whales and Antarctic toothfish. In 2020, off the coast of Singapore, a fisherman named Han Boom discovered a mysterious creature in his nets. At first, he thought it was seaweed, but then he noticed that the creature's tentacles were moving. The fisherman was shocked by the find, because despite his experience, he had never seen anything like it. Han Boom captured the creature on camera and decided to post the photos online so that others could help identify the animal. It turned out that the fisherman had found an amazing marine inhabitant, a basket star. Basket stars, or euryalids, belong to the order of brittle stars in the class of sea stars. Their unique anatomical structure makes these animals look as if they were messengers from other planets. Some people think euryalids resemble seaweed, others see coral, but most notice a similarity to baskets. In fact, it is because of this resemblance that they got their name. Euryalids have many branched arms covered with tiny hooks that help them cling firmly to underwater rocks and other objects. In addition, these arms are used for hunting. Basket stars extend them into the water to catch passing plankton and small marine creatures. Once the prey is caught, the euryalids bring the arms to their mouth, located in the center of their body. Basket stars are ancient animals. It is believed that they appeared about 200 million years ago. Euryalids inhabit almost all the world's oceans. However, they prefer deep waters, from 200 to 3,000 meters. Some varieties of basket stars possess bioluminescent abilities. These amazing creatures remind us of how diverse and astonishing life in the world's oceans can be. One of the most unusual inhabitants of the tropical coral reefs is the fish known as the red-toothed triggerfish. The first amazing feature of these fish is their red teeth, which protrude significantly from their mouths. Strong and large teeth help red-toothed triggerfish survive. With their truly impressive jaw structure, they easily handle hard corals, crush the tough shells of large crustaceans, and even sea urchins. Although red-toothed triggerfish are a fairly common species in the Red Sea, sometimes fishermen catch very unusual specimens. For example, a fisherman from Sudan caught a unique black triggerfish with bright red teeth. He shared a photo of his unusual catch on social media and received many enthusiastic responses. Red-toothed triggerfish belong to the order of pufferfish marine species. These sea dwellers grow to a length of 30–50 centimeters. In addition to their protruding teeth, these fish also have another distinctive feature, a special dorsal fin consisting of two sharp, hard spines. In a calm state, they are hidden in a special skin pouch, but in case of danger, they instantly protrude, turning the fish into a real spiky monster. Interestingly, when red-toothed triggerfish are threatened, they use an amazing strategy. These fish hide in crevices and caves of the reef, extending all their spines. In this position, they literally wedge themselves into the shelter, becoming unreachable for predators. Red-toothed triggerfish not only have a unique appearance, but are also true masters of disguise and defense. The world ocean can boast some of the most astonishing deep-sea dwellers. Some of them have such unusual appearances that they cause bewilderment among people. One such creature is the two-nosed armored gurnard, also known as the sea rooster. The appearance of the armored gurnard is truly impressive. Their bodies have an octagonal shape, which is very unusual for fish. In addition, gurnards have a peculiar jaw protruding forward, under which lies a semicircular mouth, and their barbels branch out in a curious way, forming a unique pattern. Another amazing feature of this species is its protective armor. The gurnard's body is covered with a durable bony armor made of 8 rows of scutes that form comb-like ridges. This structure provides excellent protection. Armored gurnards are small fish. Their body length is about 30 centimeters. These fish live at great depths in various locations, from the Mediterranean Sea to the southern Atlantic Ocean, including the Adriatic and even the waters off the coast of England. Gurnards can be found near the shore only in spring, during spawning season. During research conducted in the tropical zones of the world ocean, scientists discovered very unusual fish, which they named flashlight fish. Their unique feature is bioluminescent areas located around the eyes. These fish are small in size with body length rarely exceeding 35 centimeters. They inhabit the deep waters of the ocean, and for this very key reason, they remained unstudied for a long time. Thanks to modern technologies, scientists were able to obtain some information about the life activity of these amazing fish. It turns out that flashlight fish are nocturnal predators. During the day, they lie on the bottom and try to remain unnoticed. And at night, they go out hunting. I think each of you has guessed why flashlight fish are most active when it gets dark. Of course, it's all about their unique bioluminescent markings under their eyes. These areas contain friendly bacteria that possess bioluminescence. The microorganisms emit blue light around the clock, but it becomes most noticeable at night. This light attracts small crustaceans that this species of fish feeds on and at the same time repels predators. That is why flashlight fish feel safe precisely at night. Scientists believe that such symbiosis allows this species of fish not only to successfully hunt and avoid predators, but also to communicate, as flashlight fish are capable of independently controlling the glow of these bacteria. In 2023, Eric Osinski went fishing with his son on Lake Champlain in New York State. The man had caught trout in this lake many times before, so he did not expect that this time his catch would be very unusual. When Eric pulled out the nets, he found an unknown creature in them. The animal looked as if it had come to this lake from other galaxies. Eric even compared it to the Sarlacc from Star Wars. The creature looked like a hybrid of an eel and a leech, and on its head was a large round mouth with many sharp teeth. Eric captured his unusual catch to share it on social media. Users quickly identified that the mysterious monster was actually a lamprey. Lampreys are a type of ancient jawless predator. They resemble eels in appearance, but are evolutionarily more primitive creatures. Their body length can range from 13 to 100 centimeters. Lampreys do not have a full skeleton. Instead, they have a cartilaginous skull and a primitive notochord. Lampreys are ectoparasites. With their sucker mouths full of sharp teeth, they latch onto the bodies of fish and begin to suck their blood. A special enzyme in the saliva of these creatures prevents the victim's blood from clotting, so their prey often dies from blood loss or infections. In 2019, fishermen from South Carolina accidentally became participants in a curious incident. During another outing into the Atlantic Ocean, they pulled up their nets to check their catch. Among the fish, the men discovered a strange heavy box. One of the fishermen decided to film the process of opening the mysterious container. As it turned out later, that was a good idea. While opening the box, the fishermen saw that it contained many small packets. They decided to cut one open and realized that it contained narcotic substances. Upon returning to shore, the fishermen immediately reported their find to the police. After inspecting the box and its contents, the police confirmed that it was indeed drugs. The total weight of the illegal substances was over 30 kilograms. The total value of this shipment was estimated at $1 million. The police expressed special gratitude to the fishermen for reporting their find immediately. Interestingly, this case is not the only one in which people have found illegal substances while fishing. Police explain this by the fact that sometimes shipments are delivered to buyers by ship. As the vessel approaches the coast, boxes are thrown into the water where they are supposed to be picked up. But sometimes it happens that no one retrieves the containers and they continue to drift or end up in fishermen's nets. In November 2022, one of the residents of the Philippines went fishing as usual near the shores of the Busuanga and Mindoro Islands. It was there that he discovered a strange fianid, fragments of an unknown object. He reported this to the authorities. Later, it turned out that the fragments belonged to a Chinese heavy-lift rocket Long March 5B. But how could they end up in the Philippines? At the end of October 2022, another launch of the Long March 5B took place, the purpose of which was to place the Mengtian laboratory module into low Earth orbit. After delivering the module to the Chinese orbital station, the rocket stage began an uncontrolled descent from orbit and fell near the islands of Busuanga and Mindoro. This incident became one of the most discussed news stories in the world, as the fall of the rocket debris threatened the safety of the island residents. Interestingly, this case was the fourth descent of a Chinese carrier rocket from orbit. For example, in Tukwati, debris that had not burned up in the atmosphere fell near one of the settlements in the Republic of Côte d'Ivoire. And the latest fall of debris on the territory of the Philippines forced NASA to monitor future launches of Chinese space rockets. Such risks in astronautics are simply unacceptable, so China had to revise its safety measures in the event of unforeseen accidents. The Amazon is the second longest river in the world, second only to the Nile. Its total length is 6,400 kilometers. During droughts, the maximum width of the Amazon shrinks to 10 kilometers, while during prolonged rains, it increases to 40 kilometers. The Amazon flows through 9 countries. This river has over 1,100 tributaries and boasts incredible biodiversity. Around 2,000 species of fish and 400 species of amphibians live in its waters. Among the inhabitants of this amazing river are caimans, piranhas, and even pink dolphins. Another remarkable animal living in the Amazon is the ancient fish known as arapaima. In 2023, a Brazilian fisherman shared his unusual catch on social media. This man managed to catch a giant arapaima fish alone. Its length was 2.5 meters and it weighed more than 130 kilograms. Arapaimas are very ancient fish, recognized as living fossils. They have a unique archaic appearance. Their massive bodies are covered with large textured scales resembling armor, and their heads are protected by bony plates. Adult individuals can reach lengths of up to 3 meters, which is why they are often referred to as prehistoric giants. An amazing feature of these fish is that they can breathe air thanks to a swim bladder that functions like primitive lungs. To get a portion of oxygen, arapaimas surface for a gulp of fresh air every 20 minutes. Arapaima are found only in the Amazon River basin. In 2006, an unusual and even unique event occurred in the Philippines. During a fishing trip, a resident of Palawan Island got caught in a strong storm. He decided to wait out the bad weather near the nearest rock. When the storm passed, the fisherman tried to lift the anchor of his boat, but noticed that it was stuck. The fisherman wanted to check what was preventing the anchor from being lifted. When the man dived into the water, he saw that the anchor had hooked onto a giant mollusk. The fisherman managed to lift it into the boat and headed back to the island with his find. Upon returning home, the man opened the shell and discovered a giant pearl inside. When the fisherman weighed this treasure, he was shocked as it weighed a whopping 34 kilograms. The man decided not to tell anyone about his find and kept it under his bed. For a long time, the fisherman's trophy simply pleased him with its presence. But 10 years later, a fire broke out in his house. The man couldn't part with his treasure and, of course, save the pearl from the fire. That was when he had to show his unique find to a tourism department employee. The pearl was examined and studied by experts. They confirmed its authenticity and estimated its value at $100 million. This pearl became not only the largest in the world by weight, but also one of the most expensive. In December 2023, unusual footage appeared on the internet that sparked much debate. The video showed an armored catfish moving across the sands of the Lençóis Maranhenses desert in Brazil. Interestingly, the fish moved as if it were in water, not on sand. Despite the extreme air temperature and the lack of water, it continued its journey. Users were puzzled as to how this was possible, but scientists were able to explain the phenomenon. Armored catfish are common in tropical and subtropical water bodies of South and Central America. As their permanent residents, they choose silty bottoms rich in decaying organic matter. In such places, the water is not rich in oxygen, so over the course of evolution, these fish learn to breathe using their intestines. This sounds strange, but this feature allows armored catfish to breathe air and move on land. Amazingly, these fish can survive without water for several hours. Moreover, armored catfish travel between bodies of water when there is not enough food in their home habitat. They use special receptors located along their bodies to navigate space and search for a new place to live. In 2020, a fisherman in Thailand caught a very unusual fish in his net, which was already dead. When he showed it to his relatives and neighbors, they decided that the fish had been sent by demons and was a harbinger of natural disasters. The fisherman was curious to find out what species this creepy creature belonged to, so he captured it on camera and then posted a video and photos online. Experts were able to determine that the man had caught a stonefish. The stonefish is also called the rockfish. As you may have noticed, this species of fish really does resemble a rock. Stonefish have a large head with small eyes and an upward-facing mouth. The size of this species is about 30 to 40 centimeters. These fish have many spines on their bodies. In the area of the dorsal fins are spines equipped with venomous glands. This venom is particularly toxic, which is why stonefish are considered the most venomous fish in the world. Stonefish are quite widespread in the world's oceans. They are most commonly found in the Pacific and Indian Oceans. These fish periodically come to shallow waters, which makes them a potential danger to humans. At the slightest irritation, the stonefish extends its spines, which contain deadly venom. So the fisherman was lucky that when he discovered this fish, it was already dead. In 2010, fishermen from Thailand became participants in an unusual incident that attracted public attention. According to these men, they went fishing as usual in the Andaman Sea. At first, the fishing proceeded normally, and the catch promised to be very good. But at some point, the fish suddenly disappeared. Then the fishermen noticed strange air bubbles rising from the depth of the sea. What happened next shocked the men. Suddenly, a creepy creature emerged from the water. In appearance, it resembled a drowned man with the jaws of a shark. This monster tried to attack the fishing boat, but the fishermen managed to turn the vessel around and sail away from that place. One of the men was able to capture the terrifying creature. Later, he explained that no one would have believed them without proof, and the photo was direct evidence of what had happened. However, when the fishermen published the photo online, users still did not believe the truthfulness of the story. In 2020, fishermen from Indonesia caught a very unusual fish. Experts identified it as a ghost shark. Ghost sharks belong to the order Chimeriformes, which are cartilaginous fish. They inhabit the Pacific Ocean at depths ranging from 500 to 2,700 meters, which is why they remain a little-studied species. Ghost sharks, also known as long-nosed chimeras, are among the most ancient fish that have survived to this day. A distinctive feature of these fish is their large head. It occupies more than 1/3 of the fish's total length. Despite the head's chimeras have a short snout. Another recognizable trait of ghost sharks is their huge green eyes. They got their name ghost shark due to their unusual way of moving. Large pectoral fins are located on the sides of their bodies. While swimming, chimeras flap these fins, and it seems as if they are not swimming but flying underwater like ghosts. Today, more than 50 varieties of chimeras are known, but during research in little-studied areas of the ocean, scientists continue to discover new species of these unusual fish. In August 2023, a French fisherman named Hubert Herrier was cleaning up a beach near his home. In the sand, he discovered a glass bottle tightly sealed with wax. Inside was a rolled-up sheet of paper. Upon returning home, Hubert Herrier broke the bottle and took out the mysterious message. It turned out that the bottle had been thrown into the Atlantic Ocean in 1992 in the state of Massachusetts. The sender of the message was a 5th grader named Ben Lyons. After a lesson on ocean currents, the geography teacher suggested that he and his classmates send several messages in bottles to find out where the waves would carry them. The children were excited about the idea and gladly agreed. Once the letters were written, they were sealed and given to a sailor acquaintance. He took the bottles on board his ship and, having sailed far from the shore, threw them into the water. The messages traveled across the Atlantic Ocean for over 20 years. Some of them were discovered by people in different years and in various parts of the world. For example, one such bottle was found on the coast of Greenland. Hubert Herrier was touched by such an unusual find and decided to locate the author of the message. To do this, he contacted the school principal and even found the geography teacher. However, he was unable to speak with Ben Lyons, as he had long since graduated and moved to another state. And that's all from me. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell. Your engagement is the best reward for me. Thank you for watching. See you soon. Bye.